Great to start the morning with sex. Copyright. What is a credit default swap? A credit default swap is insurance on a security asset, but you want to make money off of it. Use the credit default swap in the following way. It's insurance on the equity. Buyers use those assets after they think they're going to have a loss to get something back. So, long times when you short stocks, you put insurance on them. They're mortgage-backed securities. They're risky, but the buyouts increase. Okay, with equity, higher risk equity. They're expensive, and they pay out kind of like enough to offset losses and make you like not going empty-handed. Okay, they're cheap bets, betting against the market will fail. You bet against the market, you bet for the market. So it will be expensive to have a higher rate of return on payout after this. Why would investors use a credit default swap? Since for them, the payout is like you're swapping the stock like insurance in a car. Just like the 2008 mortgage crash. You see, it's an underlying security backed by the bank. See, credit swaps were sold like hotcakes back then. Say the bank say never going to pay, right? And securities would pay that. They wouldn't pay. Securities would pay. It's selling something that would be free. So the risk is not there, as the banks wouldn't care if they paid for them. Okay? Like mortgage-backed rate securities. Owns these assets would kind of be like throwing away money. So shorting the mortgage market with these would go on securities, be betting on securities, using them as bets. Okay? Now, the rest of the market collapses as a result of this. And some people dug in and did these credit agencies. So they were reporting false information, particularly credit. And even these securities bought a lot of them just because they were profitable. Okay? So car insurance, once the vehicle crashes, they would be paid. The bank is supposed to pay that money out. They don't want to pay it out because they're not valued that high. They don't make money off of it. But the mortgage-backed securities would cause the people to lose money on insurance. The same way that a mortgage on a home cannot be insured. And for the price of the home, you can change the price at the last minute and charge whatever you want for the home. Pretty sneaky.
You're still a dumbass.
You know.
Great. Thanks.
So
Glenn, you're welcome.
I would just say that it's not very nice to do this credit default swap stuff. I would say. I mean, to me, it's not something I would do.
I'm a glass football kind of guy. You the one barricaded the alley? Somebody did. I guess when the city got overrun. Whoever did it was thinking, how many of these can do? Back at the tank, why'd you stick your neck out for me? Oh, like foolish, naive hope Bet if I'm ever that far up Shit Creek, somebody might do the same for me. Gets me in a beer down that SMU. I'm back. Gotcha. Let's 4 geeks in the alley. Chill out, Andrea. Back off.
Come on, Lisa, you're kidding, right? You're dead because of this stupid asshole.
I said back the hell off. Pull the trigger.
We're dead. All of us. Because of you.
I don't understand. We came into the city to scatter supplies. You know what the key to scavenging is? Surviving. You know what the key to surviving? Sneaking in and out. Tiptoeing, not shooting up the street like the old kick around. Every jeep for miles around, heard you popping off right.
You just riding the thing about.
Get the picture now.
What are you doing there anyway?
Trying to flag the helicopter. Helicopter. Nice crap, man. No damn helicopter.
You were just an hallucination imagining things that happens.
I saw it. Picking up. We tried that city. Big contact others. Others. The refugee center.
Yeah, the refugee center. They got biscuits waiting at the oven doors.
Got no signal. Maybe the roof.
Sorry, had to go away a bit.
What's that next thing?
Take temple, not a temple. What's the difference? The difference is I left, was delayed, and made your time wasted. So essentially, you short securities and credit default swaps, okay? Shorting. You borrow $100, right? Short $100, Goldman Sachs. You pay a $1 fee, okay? Right away. Then you can share $100 and sell it to another mutual fund, a hedge fund, for $100. What I do is I sell it, I collect it, another $100. Okay? Then a few days later, it says that my mine minerals company stock dropped $50. Then I buy $50 back after the stock drops. Yes? Then I return the share to Goldman Sachs that I just made for $50 after the $1 fee, $49. Now, the compliance, the trade seems like an unethical trade. It's a trade made for securities to maximize profits and minimize. The Securities Exchange Commission would do this. It might be bad to do it. Investigated by the SEC because information is not ethical to have information and use it on stocks. See, the head of compliance would be against this type of deal, though they wouldn't actually be against the deal because they are making money off of it, even though your stock has lost money. Someone making a few $100,000 a year is not taking any risk, so they don't have an incentive to stop the transaction. They do have an incentive to look into it, but if they look into it, they might as well make money while they're doing this transaction. So it's like a standoff. It's a competition, though both of us seem to gain. And if you allow these securities to continue going on, these transactions, compliance will be secondary. First, you can make the profits and minimize the risk by saying that the investor put up all the risk. So the exchange commission can make profits and not put out risk. Say a portfolio manager will be on top of this, trading an entire team of people. What? Crash in, as my wife would say, crash out over these commodities and exchange. See, to say that you're not a leech, you're just part of a leech. See, what you're doing is something unethical, but since you don't know this unethical, you don't have to feel guilty right away. Okay? So, with these, you have to clean them up. Yes? So if you have $1 and you have a hedge fund, you buy certificates of deposit, yes? Now, you have a company called ABC Company. The company's debt is on a bond. The bond can be worth whatever. You buy it just like a stock. If you get bad news in the stock drops. Similarly, bad news on a bond will cause it to decrease.
Where are you from?
So if it decreases, the seller's firm might downgrade the stock and say it's not as valuable as it was, which is true. Okay. Now, if company ABC, company ABC rates the bonds, downgrade the bond, then the bond go from A to B. The bond drops in value. Now, these bonds are purchased with insurance that will make money back in the market, not lose money, so some loss is expected. So if you own the bond, you want to buy an insurance policy, insure this bond. Okay. Now, to buy what it says, that's a credit default swap. You're insuring a bond that is downgraded. Then the value of the credit default swap increases. It increases. It's credit default prophylactic. It's a self-fulfilling prophylactic.
That's an understatement. What about under the streets?
This channel is rated G. S stands for swap. You mean TDS, Trump Derangement Syndrome. The risk of somebody else's trade makes the risk go up. It's pretty easy to buy a bond, right? It's pretty easy to buy a bond. Just buy it from online. Buy a bond online. You buy a CDS from Party. Then go to the Exchange Commission, New York Exchange Commission, Stock Commission, and buy a firm from a capital firm, an investment bank. And then on the CDS, your company, ABC company, again, the investment bank create this for your company insurance. Now, individual investors don't do transactions with credit default swaps. It's usually for large firms like Goldman Sachs. You put an insurance policy on these bonds, okay? You pay a small fee. So if you do not service this, your family gets a large amount of the money and they have to pay a small amount of money to subtract this money. Credit default swaps is insurance for the short term of this bond. To keep it simple, let's keep it simple, please. The insurance product is the life it has for a month. If bad news comes out in your company, ABC company, the CD expires and it's not worth anything. It expires worthlessly. You don't have enough capital. So in 2008, owning these credit default swaps, or like an ATM machine that didn't work. So you have an ATM machine that's working 24 hours, but doesn't make any money. Okay. On the buying side, use a hedge firm. You sell the sign say, I want to buy a credit default swap. One of these, An insurance product is debt correlated to subprime mortgages, bad mortgages, bad loans, like junk bonds, but not junk bonds. Okay. Now, you take abacus of these bad subprime mortgages, buy this bad debt, and Goldman Sachs on the abacus sees a list of these bad mortgages. Okay, you can clearly see it on the page. Okay, but I will tell you, highly rated AAA loans, triple rate loans, the most highly rated loans in the subprime group set here, you can see that there's diversified set of portfolio items. See, and it says the debt has a rating, optimally AAA rating by the S&P 500. Now, the ratings would be triple, double A, and triple A, then triple B, and triple and double B. Smart hedge funds like the ones doing Fannie and Freddie Mac in 2008 were wrong, reporting inaccurate stock information to mislead investors, so they'd invest in junk bonds, and then the securities in the insurance of those junk bonds would pay dividends, possibly an amount of 300% realized gains. Now, buying these credit default swaps, we knew that these loans would fail. We knew these subprime mortgages were bad, and we didn't care about losing the money because upon our losses, we would recoup profits in excess of 300% to 3,000% in these mortgage-based securities. These certificates of deposits collateralized debt collections. So why would someone buy a CDO such as this? So the companies, the corporations, much bigger than ABC Corporation, are forced to buy these because it's their entire business model. Instead of buying them one time per day or 10 times per day, they could possibly buy them billions of times over. And these unrealized gains would be spread over several investors. And after the insurance had lapsed, they would be paid exponentially. These contracts make them a fortune, earning billions of dollars from these positions. But eventually it collapsed. So it makes sense that they would make money after the bank made them rich. These banks, like your company, ABC Corporation, but by the stock size, knowing the stocks would go down. Upon the stocks going down, these companies would have collateralized gains and get rich. The liquidity of these returns push the stock way up, which is illegal. So you keep buying the medium. The mode, mean, and the median, expecting the stock to stay at a certain price, then dump them, knowing they would lose. In the failure, knowing that the failure would get you returns from the money you lost. For example, spending $10, knowing that you would get $3 million, would be a repeated over and over again type of approach to these bonds. The fees would be paid by the bank. The bank would assume all the risk. Therefore, the investor would not have to worry about blowback or losing the investment because they would be compensated billions and billions or many more times over than that and spread the risk over because the risk lies with the bank. Now, you shouldn't go out and buy a Porsche with that. You should just keep investing and get more people involved in this scam. Okay? So look, with these capital companies, considering venture capital in taking the realized gains and spread out the gains over a period of time that the money can be hidden. There wouldn't be a way for the feds to trace the money because they would go through so many accounts that it couldn't be called shorting the stock because the bank is the one who bore the brunt of the risk and authorized the payment of these bad loans. Now, venture capitalists using their portfolios very carefully. They love to collect people in a certain generation because they would trust the older investors to not deceive them or steal from them. Venture capital firms would state a position, and then with the stockholder have that position, the stockholder would take the money at the higher valuation and place the money on that stock. In venture capital, this is a common practice, as if any business endeavor would have a venture capitalist look for money to fund a corporation such as yours, AB Corporation. Hedge funds would be a part of this. Mostly companies that have capital and that are in the S&P 500, Fortune 500, the New York Stock Exchange, managed portfolios, investment bankers, and companies investing in private equity also are looking for capital. They want the hedge funds to perform well and invest in VC and don't view them as smart money because the venture could fail with the investment in the fund that does not return immediately aside from the bank, but is responding to market forces and bringing profits based on perfect information. Now, you will have a pitch with an investment banker that these returns will be substantial and there wouldn't be many losses, though some losses are expected. It's dumb money when someone would invest in a company with a venture capital, not knowing those gains in the future of certain stocks and certain stock activity with these credit default swaps or with activity that was unrealized because the stock had not had a chance to perform. Those are all speculative in every single group hedge fund buyback investment type strategy. Now, companies were meaning well, but they always wanted a big return, moving the needle based on a fund's performance. Now, it's very unethical for hedge funds. They have a bad reputation and monthly perform not so well. So those firms can market the value of the venture capital. Grading the realism of these stocks is depending upon largely which firms are involved, who has put up the money, and how many venture capital firms are pushing the stock. Your company, ABC Company, yes, it shows how many stocks are respected because an investment fund manager had backed the stock, even though it had not shown consistent performance or even consistent earning potential on gains when placed in the market. So, in effect, we can say psychologically, these funds awfully have someone explaining them that has a future in venture capital or VC and has performed better with other stocks, other ventures. And so the investor is functioning off a type of perfect information because of the reputation based on that venture capitalist or firm's reputation of past achievements. Portfolio companies are not perfect. Also, they cannot be trusted to make you money. Though junk funds may be a way to cut losses and increase exponential growth on lost stocks from insurance commodities, investments, that are speculative in nature. Many will not take the risk, and the risks are very avoidant, and it's not specific. So it would be advised to take the risk of these junk bonds, because junk bonds are just another product that are sold on the commodity stock market and can reap rewards if one is willing to unethically, possibly incriminate themselves into a federal prison and be investigated for wire fraud, stealing monies, bankrupting companies, families, killing people indirectly, and basically becoming the bane of society and being like Satan, Lucifer incarnate. So it's good to invest in these bonds because you'll go to prison and you'll be really rich when you go to prison. So Jack Duncan YouTube channel. It's probably impossible to buy credit default swaps right now unless you're in an oil rich company. But you can go and do this if you're willing to bump your head on the tomb and have a lot of money for a little while and brag about how rich you used to be while you're being bent over by Bubba, Tiny, Big Dave, and Melvin. Sprinkled with special sauce, and now being a little girl in a small prison with a bunch of swelly men. Thank you. Goodbye. Goodbye. Goodbye.